Hi there, my name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my channel. Here we are. Here we are. Oh my goodness. Hello. Here we are, my loves. And it is Extreme Sisters. I have a 2-episode recap coming your way, and it's 2 and it's 3, but it really feels like an extension of 1 because we still had people to meet in the sense of the word. So, if you guys were just with me, I had a little technical difficulty where I always love to talk to you guys. And for some reason, I had mislabeled the live stream of the last, and it did not approve of a live chat, which is something, if you guys knew that, if you pick kids and go live, no live chat. And so, don't want kids here, don't care about kids. And I really want to hear about you guys. So, let's get into this. My goodness, Extreme Sisters again. And so let me say this has a lot of great moments when we learn about each pair. And then we understand at one point what their point of view is now in the present. And there's always some conflict because they are being produced, right? They have producers and the producers have storylines. And almost like writers, they have to think about what conflict, what drama, how people have different characters, have different point of views and different sides to make such a thing interesting. So, now I'm able to talk to you guys. Why am I not being able to see live chats? How is this happening to me, truly? Is there something happening right now in my life so that I can't have a live chat? This is maddening. What is happening? So weird. I'm doing the same thing I always do. I'm like so mad at this. There's like 9 people in this room. I can't see anything you're saying. It's making me really upset. I know I'm just going to have to go on. Fuck. I just said the F word. It's just, what am I doing wrong? Okay, so here I go. This will be a different live. I guess it'll be fast, my loves. Okay, Brittany and Brianna. I'm back. Brittany and Brianna are 2 twins Extreme Sisters that we met through a TLC spinoff that they had. It's limited edition series where they got to meet the loves of their lives, who are 2 twin men. How crazy, right? How truly nuts. And because the twin men and them got married, it was a spectacle. It's a spectacle because how in God bless did they do it? How did they secure themselves? 2 single men at the same time who also are identical twins, who only really truly are happy with each other and dressing like each other. At the same time you guys are, you just found your perfect people. They call them princes. They kind of do look like princes. And these girls look like, and I said this, versions of Elle Woods, right? They are twins, like Legally Blonde fanatics. You know what I'm saying? Like the pink and the blonde. It's truly fascinating. But yet they went to a festival of twins and then met these 2 guys. My goodness. And then were married within 6 months of each other. And they, to this day, they have kids and stuff, have never gone on dates alone with just their SO. So fascinating. Like a couple of things. You're just like, are there times in which you just like sit across the table from each other, just like looking at the other one's man and being like, or the other, like the woman, they're just like, I wonder what that one would be like. Or have they watched each other just so they would know what the other was getting? Like so many fascinating parts. One husband has a different display, different deviation, different display of chestorial muscle than the other one does, which I clock. I'm a horrible person. I love you guys. Thank you so much, by the way, for liking this video. What a weird beginning for me personally, and I'm so sorry that I was a little hectic, but I do appreciate you guys being here and liking this video and supporting. You're just the best, truly. I miss you guys so much. obviously would love to interact with you all. But I appreciate you. So, okay. That's just crazy. They met. They found people just like them. They married them. But it just begs, like, what kind of other, like, things happen there? And they have one pair has a child, right? And the other ones don't. And you just want to fast forward like 10 years and look at all their children because they're identical twins. So, like, you're not, I mean, genetically speaking, we would not be able to pick out like which ones are sisters and brothers and which ones are cousins. They're all going to look like sisters and brothers, right? So fascinating. Genetics are fascinating. What a great experiment to be able to, like, if you knew them, you'd be like, oh my God, I get to watch an experiment happen over years. They do deserve to be on TV. I mean, not for their personalities, truly. So one other thing about these sisters, lots of other things about these particular sisters, is that, honey, they get up every morning, the crack of dawn, it's still dark outside, and they just like to eat chocolate together and giggle. And when you hear them talk, and like whatever's making them giggle, it's like, those aren't funny things. Like, you see them eat chocolate together and just like, they're like, and so he told me. And the other one's like, no, yeah. You're like, what are you? There's not jokes happening. I don't know what you guys are, just little babies together. I mean, I get it. Like, you know, because there is a moment of regression anyone has when you've been with someone and you're spending time with someone that you knew when you were young. I feel like I definitely had those moments, not only with like my cousins like Monique, but I even had those moments like people I went to college with, where when I'm like with the college person, I'm like, we're in college again, you know? So like for these girls that have shared a womb, and when they get together, they're just like toddlers, which is fine because they're lawyers, toddler lawyers. And it must be a really hard life and a very stressful job that they go to together, where they get dressed together, wear the same things together, make sure they have the same amount of lip gloss together. It's so interesting, the twins' psychology that Extreme Sisters gives us, right? Like the difference between these Perth twins that like want to be the same person and these twins that like, they're like, no, we'll be different people, just as identical as possible. It brings us joy. So, and even to hear the husbands be like, yeah, we also don't want to be separated. We're each other's soulmates. So it was nice to find someone else who gets that. And I think that that's a whole other just lucky draw to the probability that these two twin sets got together. Yeah, you feel like you already have a soulmate. It's very Sinjin and Tanya, you know, but like you feel like you have a soulmate. You can't marry that person. You understand that your soulmate technically is supposed to be like the person that you find as a significant other in your life, that you like create the world in which you live with children and family and a household. But you've already had the soulmate. And like, how is someone's going to come into your life like 30 years into it to trump the person that was like blink, blink there the whole time and also looks just like you and knows everything about you, knows everything about your family, knows everything about your background, just like was there the whole time blinking through it with you. So interesting. So to understand that because you have someone else, you know, yeah, I mean, it's just, I'll never get it. I mean, just the probability, again, that they found each other, like this statistical probability that they found each other is, I mean, maybe for someone single like me, it's like, wow, good, well, great. You know, if you can find each other, like, okay, well, then at some point, I'm going to find like a second or third generation Lebanese American person of my somewhat similar background. You know, right? Like that seems impossible, but these girls make anything seem possible. Also, I'm so sorry. I guess they are now pregnant again, but one of them has a baby. So yeah, their whole thing is that they had never been on a date separate from each other, and so they go on a date. That's so crazy. How? Yeah, you never went on a date with your SO? You weren't like, that's weird to me because I'm like, I guess when you counting dates, but like maybe just like times one goes and picks up each other. They seem like Disneyland adults where like, you know, so there have to have been times that one of them and the other one was just like, let's go to Pickup sticks, honey. Let's go to like Panda Express. You can get, half and half chow mein and rice. They sat at the pickup sticks or the Panda Express and ate it. They just don't count that as a date. That's a date. It's a great date. Honey, it's been dry in the desert. Sounds like a great date, especially if it's half and half. Especially the also spring for a side egg roll that doesn't count as one of your sides. Okay, let's get into, I'm still trying to get through the ones that we didn't meet. So it's the other brown-haired sisters. Oh, wait, up top, I think it is. Oh, no, this is weird. The brown-haired sisters are, the ones that we met are the weird-ass witch sisters, okay? And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the names for some reason. There they are. What's their names? It's so bad. It's really bad of me, but like I can't remember anyone's names. Or just like there's so many B names in this show, right? There's like I just said two girls, two twins whose names were B names, and then that's not even Bailey and the other one, and that's not even Patrix and Patrika. So it's like truly okay. Is it Christina and Jessica? Yeah, Christina and Jessica. Okay, so these are two twins that have an energetic connection. And I think that through that energetic connection, it made them feel like they were psychic, but they're not. They don't feel that way at all. I mean, they don't feel like they have truly an untouchedness with a divine spirit and or like a respect for certain things. They seem like Kardashian wannabes that like have a hustle, truly. I mean, my God. And especially when they gave us previness to one of their sessions. Their session was with this woman who was like, hey, I'm having issues with this man. We fight all the time. And like, don't worry, honey, you'll get the ring in 1 month. No, she's not. I'm like, all right, producers, you right now, a month has already passed between you filming this and the moment I'm watching this. And I need a live update because that woman did not get a ring. Also, the way they say it, like, and you'll get a ring. Like, what 90s? What are you? I don't like them at all. And so let's just talk. So they've interfered in each one of their relationships so much that like they've gotten divorced, and specifically from really hot ass, cool ass dudes. At least they look hot. I mean, I don't know. Knowing dudes, and knowing, who they were attracted to in the end, and all their personalities and their motivations, probably not as cool as I would say. But at the same time, what's funny now is like one of them ruined one of their marriages, and now has a new relationship and has tried to lie about everything, and the other one is just like can't wait to ruin it. Because what's happening, and there's like a running theme of like this need for revenge between sisters, sacrificial revenge, where you have displays of loyalty to each other in a barbaric way. It's fascinating. So in these women, they're like, no, if I say so, you give up the most important thing to you, like your other, like whatever, like they have no qualms in ruining each other's lives for perceived loyalty to their relationship. And of course, the same thing is happening with Patrika and Patrix, which I'll get into. It's this part of the sisterhood I am so happy I don't have in my life, because it's incredibly toxic, and in the cycle of things, like prohibits growth on both parts. It is this weird tethering to each other that prohibits growth and breeds just a cycle of resentment. I gave this up for you, and I just can't wait till you have to give something up for me. It's just like, and I want to deep dive. Is that what hardcore relationships are? Like, is that what marriages are? Or marriages just cycles where someone has to like acquiesce or sacrifice? The other one just sits on it, swallows that, waiting and abating for a time in which they were to be like rewarded in some way. for what the thing that they want? Like, is that what it is? And I'm asking you guys as friends because I don't have sisters, nor do I have a husband. And I want to know, like, how profound that is in relationships. I understand the concept, like, if I was to try and, like, see how I can have empathy or understanding in this situation, I definitely know what it's like to have codependent relationships as a female with other females. I think I was privy to that a lot, which I think a lot of women are. But I think I had a lot of that in my life. And I think that I could trace that to me being an only child and also very much loving women and feeling comforted and secure and valued by women in a way that, as well as being young and trying to do things in your life as a young person against some of the some of this antagonistic, not antithesis, some of the antagonistic ways of the world in which it values women, young women anyway. A lot of young women will then latch on to someone else just to be like, we need each other. There's no way without it. You need that. So there are definite benefits to that kind of relationship. The ride or die. The person that, like, you always have. The person that's there for you in your 20s as a female, as you go through relationships, like a constant. And I think that that is a lot of this extreme sisterness. And there's another aspect, which is some of these extreme sisters also helped the other sister raise their kids in such a way that also creates an indebtitude, you know? So, okay. So with Jessica and Christina, we're just led to believe that, they're dealing with I don't like their story, but they're dealing with, because I think they're shysters, but they're dealing with their new relationship with one of the men's. I don't even care about knowing about which one's which. And so they go naked in a forest, honey, and they just, like, I don't know, cast spells. I mean, they're like basic witches, like no part of them feels authentic. And I would so sad that people are spending any money on them. I love when one of them was like, our clients, 98% of them are repeat business because we're giving them the goods or whatever. It's like, you're giving them the goods, honey. No, you're giving them like Miss Cleo, Call Me Now. Except your readings aren't free. They're just filled with like what you guys think should happen. And all your lives are messes. Okay. How do I really feel? That's what my dad would say. How do you really feel? Okay. I'm going to go on to the ones that we've already known and love. Anna and Lucy, the pair of Perth twins. So Anna and Lucy have been dealing with the fact that one of them has to get a teeth pulled and the other one isn't allowed to just pull out a real good tooth for like the sake of it. And they're dating one man, right? So the difference between Legally Blonde twinsies and that have no giggles, no reason for no giggles, and Perth twins are that one's happy dating one man and be treating as the same person. The other one's like, no, we're different people. We just happen to meet the perfect situation for us ever. I feel, like both, I guess, these twins found men that are perfectly ideal for their weird, improbable situation. It's actually inspirational. Anna and Lucy are dating Ben. And Ben is like, well, one of them, the one that has to get rid of your tooth, you got to just be chill. You can't get rid of your good tooth because what's going to happen? You're going to keep going back until you're just toothless. And they're like, oh, you always make us feel better. It's like, okay. My goodness. The puffy sleeves and silhouette of the Perth sisters' dress style is so specific. I mean, what a look. I mean, what cultivating a trademark look. It is so interesting. But basically, one of the other best parts of the Extreme Sisters is the introduction of some of these sisters' moms, right? The Perth twins should have their mom present all the time. Like, I need to see their mom. I need to see all the moms bottom eyelashes. I need to like count them, honey, like dee, dee, dee. And I'm like, I always want one eyelash and then kind of go in between and like cross out the other four, like you're keeping track, you know? But the Purse sisters have, again, such a drawl about their accent. It's really interesting. And their faces are so blank with their dry tones. I mean, I guess people just have such a barrage of different expressive styles, and their expressive style is, well, it's specific, you know. And their mom just is as specific as the way in which I guess their mom does their under mascara eyelashes. I mean, I'll never get over that. Is that a thing? Is that a British thing? Is that an Australian thing in the sense, is that what old biddies in these places do? You know, I think that we like see different under eye styles. Like I'm fascinated with how Sophia Loren at this age does her eyeliner, right? Because you can see that she like is doing an under eye liner that kind of like starts right there. Look at pictures so you know what I'm talking about. Kind of goes in like there and then like goes to there. And so a lot of skin is being shown in her eyeliner. So she kind of creates the silhouette of this cat eye look. And I love makeup, as you know. I'm fascinated with different makeup looks. But as one ages, as a lady ages, it's interesting to see the effects one is trying to create. This woman is trying to create the effect of the Purse sisters' moms under eyelashes in such a way that she just draws on lines, what looks like at least a good inch underneath her eyes. Just, I want this for both of these women. I want them to do what I do. Haha, no, but I want them to get an eyeshadow that is a very neutral but darker eyeshadow. And perhaps maybe it's a color that could also be used as a bronzer on one of them. Not that they need a bronzer, but maybe it's a grayish tone or a kind of a muted ash tone. And this is what anyone can do. Put it underneath their eye, and it creates the shadow that you see. I'm doing it now. Because what women want, I think what they're trying to do is create the dimension of the eye underneath to give the whole eye look. Because when you don't have it, then you see it looks imbalanced. It can look imbalanced. So it's just eye and then just white underneath, you know, like. So in order for you to like create the dimension of the eye and the eye socket, I think as well as of course the shape of the eye is what these women are trying to do. So with Sophia Loren, she's creating a shape of like a fox eye, and with the Purse sisters is creating the shadow. But if you had just used an eyeshadow underneath to frame it, it gives you a basis better than nothing. And at this point, for the Purse lady, of course, you could just use mascara and do your bottom lashes. And if you still wanted to have like a space in between, use a white eyeliner for the inner rim. Or you could even take the other, you know, you could use magnetic under eyelashes if you wanted thatness. Or you could use individuals, which of course would be the most natural look possible. If she just got like 5 individuals and was like deet, deet, in varying lengths. Now, however, who's going to teach her that? You would say those 2 biddies, honey, her daughters live with her, and they have like an affinity for makeup. And I would agree. I think that should be the ones. So it's a long way of saying that, but I would say that their content about this tooth isn't my fave. I don't know where these where are these Purse sisters going to go? They're like, now we're over the tooth thing, right? Like, they're not going to pull that tooth because like no credible dentist is going to do that. We're happy that they met Ben. They're just kind of like walking around in like platform chunky sandals all the time and those dresses, honey, like whipping them extensions around, you know, with those drawers, you know. So, okay. Let's talk about Bailey and Brooke. So the biggest news to start off with is Bailey and Brooke's mom is someone we met. She seems reasonably sound. A reasonably sound woman. She's very striking looking. And she does not look like her daughters. Not at all. No, 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 no. They're like, Bailey and Brooke, honey, are like very into like long ass hair and like weird noses, honey, and like shiny hair, long, same color hair, honey. And well, Bailey loves mascara, as you can see. It looks like spiders on there. And their mom does like makeup too. Their mom's look is like if Kate Gosselin was like an emo, heavyset punk Avril Lavigne listening person from the early aughts. I wish I could show a picture. You have to, you either know what I'm talking about or you don't. She kind of looks like a game character, like a gaming character. She kind of looks like the minion of someone that would be in a video game. But reasonably sound. We meet her when she has a conversation with her daughters where she's like, you guys, come on. You can't be doing what you're doing. And we get a lot of backstory, which is, what happened between Denver and, God, I think Brooke, which was this. Brooke and Denver were obviously boned, right? Brooke gets pregnant with the baby. Denver, they're not together, and Denver at first does not step up. But so because of that, that's when Bailey really came in there, honey, like a white knight, and just took care of the situation, took care of the baby, took care of her sister. And so now that Denver is really stepping up to the plate, it's hard for them to, I think, trust Denver in that way. But at the same time, it's crazy because they confess all the time how they're not able to have sex because the sister's in the room. And a lot of people in my other chat were like, maybe she doesn't want to have sex with Denver, which is like, maybe she doesn't because she's pregnant and she's using like her sister as like literally a cock block. But that has to be a conversation you have with Denver. Also, why don't you want to have sex with Denver? I want to have sex with Denver. And you obviously like have no problem having sex with Denver. You just keep having sex with Denver. She's pregnant again. So I also love Bailey's like, I don't know what to do. I can't live by myself. I can't live with my mom. And it's like, you absolutely could live with your mom. You're choosing not to. If you can continue to choose to ruin your sister's relationship if you want. Also, I don't understand how these sisters also never talk about the option of you can continue living there, just have more respect for the household. Yes, I guess for Denver, but for the household, because a lot of the problems that Denver had with her was due to her messiness, like her leaving dirty underwear and stuff. And yeah, her sleeping in the bed with them. And also perhaps what feels like her not respecting the space that Denver calls his own, like his bedroom. So for Denver, he wants his bedroom to be his bedroom, so he doesn't need to see a picture of you and your boyfriend. You can put that in your room, on your vanity. And I don't understand why that's even a question. Like, yeah, if this person is allowing you to live in their house, then respect it. And that's how you get through this. It feels like obviously a produced segment we're supposed to be like, oh no, what do they do? No, you just be normal, good people. And you get to live in the house and still take care of the kids. It's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Just don't sleep in the bed. Also, get a body pillow and just that's what I think would be a hilarious thing. Get a body pillow and just get like a custom body pillow cover that's like in the shape of your sister. Sleep with it. Like hug it at the top, put a leg over the bottom. You can squeeze it all night. So let's talk about Patricia and Patrice, who I think are now that I've realized we've gone through them all, by far my favorite. I like them a lot. They are by far the most entertaining. They also have a produced storyline, but I don't mind. So let's just remember that Patrix is the little younger one who is single and has average hands. Patrika is married with kids and has a little hand problem, okay? Patrix, in high school, as we remember, loved playing the violin, honey. Patrika couldn't play that violin, honey. Doesn't have the hands for it, you know? So Patrix gave up the violin. And here we are today. They live in the South, and I want to say Atlanta. No, they want to, in Georgia, maybe. Horrible at this. Why did I even say anything at all? They want to move to Florida. That's the most important part. Specifically, Patrix wants to restart it in Florida, honey. Loves Orlando, wants to like get into that dating scene, wants a fresh start. And much like Legally Twinsies, these sisters have been dreamers together, and they must have talked a lot about relocating to Florida. The problem is where Patrix was like, yeah, let's do it. Patrika just was like, wouldn't it be great? And now Patrix is like, it's happening. And Patrika's like, I actually have like a whole base here. It's not just me. It's my husband. It's my kids. And so we're supposed to believe that Patrix honestly feels like Patrika has the ability to just move all these people away without any sort of compromise or like, no, any sort of like say from her husband and her children. There's no way. Come on, Patrix. There's no way that she honestly feels like Patrika's husband has no say in this. Patrika's going to do whatever her husband and her children need to do. She has all those people in her family. I know you had that violin, honey, but you could have picked up that violin at any time, and just practice on the sly. And then go at night to jazz clubs and play the violin without your sister knowing. You didn't have to give it up. You just don't have to talk about it in front of your sister, rub it in her sister's hand. So another example of this like indebtitude to sisters and also a manufactured storyline that it finds it hard to believe. These sisters give us a parade of different looks and styles and different wigs. And I said this before, when we saw a glimpse of their natural hair, which was braided to their head to put on a wig, the braided hair looked so awesome. And I sort of wish I could see them kind of play around with their what looks like incredibly luscious natural hair. I love their self-care philosophy. I don't love what we saw in the first episode, which was extreme sisters doing hygienic things for each other. I mean, it's not my favorite. And, their segment opened with like them shaving each other's armpits. But what I do love is for some reason, but when they have segments, it like starts with like what feels like their philosophy. Like, skating's great. Skating is good for the muscles. Skating is good for the heart. They're just like, skating is like makes us feel like, you're like, whatever, when they say something, their philosophies about movement or dry brushing or in this like inline skating, it like sells me. I like the culture of self-care and health that these women have cultivated and share within each other. It really, really makes me happy. Because I believe in it, like, I'm like, yeah, you guys, like they feel like they take good care of not only each other, but themselves and consequently their families. Like, I feel like Patrika's family is well taken care of, like that house looks put together. I feel like their holidays are fun. There's really great food on the table. It feels like, I feel like those sons were raised, they say that they love their mom, they love their aunt so much, but in a lot of like joy and love and health. They have a spirit about these twins that I really love. And I mean, you can really see it. I mean, anytime they're on screen, and if let's just cross contrast to the Perth twins, and they're just like, he's also you're just like, oh my gosh, it's just quite different. So I'm so thankful that these twins are on the show. It's interesting because they seem so much more positive. And even though this indebtitude and this sort of like sacrifice is a theme in their situation, and you really are like, Patrix, come on, girl, you just got to be able to like either move to Florida yourself and reinvent yourself as like single and like dying and loving it, not dying, but dying for being, the hottest thing ever in Orlando, like new piece. Or yeah, like you continue being single here and like doing your thing here with your friends, but you're not going to like make your sister uproot her whole family. It's just not her say. She's been here and she's a whole husband. He has a whole career here. You know that. And we know that. So let's not like muddy it with like fakeness. Let's get to the realness, which is like really the joy and warmth in these sisters. I like want way more of like what else that like the other things they do. Like, they're wearing those like waist trainers as they work out, honey. They have like bomb ass figures. With the dry brushing and like, I don't know. I like them. So we are 35 minutes in. I'm going to watch and see how this series plays out. I want to see what twists and turns and what new nuggets we get, like what surprises. I am loving the side characters, truly, and how crazy they are. I want to bring up one other thing I forgot. This is horrifying. In the previews for next week, with Brooke and Bailey, they have a baby shower for Brooke's baby, right? And the whole concept is that the sisters have reportedly, I guess, like picked the date without Denver agreeing to it. And I swear to God that for some reason they want to name that baby Masser. So I'm going to reserve judgment to just wait and see how they're spelling Masser and what Masser means to them. Is Masser some ethnic name that I don't know about? Or unfortunate, does it have the phonetic sound of a southern plantation-y sound? Right? That's what I'm trying to say. When you heard that, I need confirmation, and I need you to tell me that was a nugget that happened in the previews for the next episode, that's the name they're going to name their child. And when they said it and I auditorily heard it, I was like, no, wait, come again? What? No, you're not. You're not going to name your son Masser, are you? Now, if for some reason in the next episode they're like Masser, which is a German last name of our grandfather, and they really sell it to me, I guess I'm going to have to like swallow it, but I need confirmation that the producers put that name in because they know the triggering response that it had for people. So, I love you guys. That's how I stand for this. We'll just see. I'm really into it. And by that, I mean, I'm into some of the nuggets I'm getting, but I need there to be a sustainingness to it where I will want to watch like episode 6, 5, and 6. I'm into 4 because of we'll see, but if 5 and 6 aren't twisty and turny with surprises and what looks like genuineness, I don't know about this series. So I need your opinion. I also want your opinion, side note, on pig royalty, truly what you're into. As you can tell, and I'm so sorry if it wasn't confusing, I had a little issues today with these streams with, for some reason, YouTube not giving me the option or taking away my option of live chats. So for the 48 people in this room, I have not been able to see one of your comments, or really you are like, no, girl, we've never been able to give a comment. So I need your thoughts after I upload this video, because I've now just been like screaming on top of a mountain in the darkness. I want to hear like some echoes and some resonating, not echoes, but I need to hear like some answers back. This feels crazy. Oh, I'm so, frustrated with that, but I had to move on. I'm so sorry about that. And I'm sorry that I didn't feel like do well with the emotional realization of it, because I really love talking to you guys that much. Like, this show is, it's interesting, but I just really want to hear your thoughts and your opinions as much as you want to hear mine, I think. Um, so I appreciate you guys in this room, 50 people in this room, 28 likes, 28 thumbs up. Love that. Love you guys. We'll see what happens with Extreme Sisters. Again, I'm going to watch other things. If you are interested, I will be talking about Extreme Sisters on the Reality Gaze podcast. Those are my friends, the Reality Gaze, Jake/Poodle and Maddie, and they were on my stream for 90 Day Fiance, the Happily Ever After, no, the Tell All Part 2 and 3, whatever last season we had. I think it was 90 Day Fiance, I did a regular on 90 Day. So I will be on their podcast to talk about Extreme Sisters here, which will actually be great because I just spent 41 minutes talking into a vacuum about it. And I'm so excited to talk about it with someone who will then give me the automatic response and reaction of their own opinion. How truly great, which is what I would come for. I think Maddie's really into it. I think that Poodle's not into it, which I get. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Bailey and Brooke's mom, and whoever they decide to name that baby. All right, my loves, Friday night. This is where I am, just with you guys, chilling. Really appreciate you guys being here. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I am at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Lebanon. And my heart is out this whole week, and it weighs in my mind and my soul tremendously. The plight of the Palestinians. So just putting that out there. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Chris L. Farah. I'm also on Facebook in a private Facebook group called Vanity Farah, and I would love you to join that because that's the easiest way to be able to talk to people and tell you when I'm going to go live or ask when you're available to go live and what you're watching in such a way. So thank you so much. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves, just like Patricia and Patrice would. Stand up for what you believe, like I just did with Free Palestine. It can be scary to say, but it's what I believe. And make art. Okay? And have a good Friday night, my loves. All right. Bye, boos.